Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is April and today we are going to flip through and update my reading journal. And I had a feeling we were going to have a guest. This is Jackal. He is a pain, but I love him dearly. Actually, I have already updated it, but I will show you the updates. I had to record this video a couple times because of issues. So I will just flip through and show you as I go what I did update. All right. So here's my name page. And then I have a key here that flips out. And I'm going to be highlighting things and checking things off in the color of the month that it applies. These are my reading goals for the year. I usually pick 50, but for some reason I always come up short of. This year I think it was 3 books. The year before I think it was 4 or 5, so I'm always just a little bit short, and I think if I shorten it just a little bit, I might be able to hit it this year. So we'll see. I'd like to read 5 spiritual books. I'm kind of exploring spirituality and what that means to me. And so if you have any recommendations for good spiritual books as to someone who's just kind of exploring it, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And then 5 nonfiction books unrelated to spirituality. The next one is all the books that I own. And then I updated this in the last video that I recorded. I had already read 2 of them since I wrote this out. I hope I don't acquire this many more books this year because I'm trying. That's my other goal that I didn't write. Is I want the number of my owned books to go down drastically, which is why we have backlist bingo. This is the oldest books on my owned TBR. Well, technically my physical TBR. So they're all over here. And then when you peel off one of these squares, it reveals one of these numbers. And that's where you put the square. So the title of the book is here, and then that way. And then I have the 26 books I want to read in 2026. These are also on my physical TBR, and they are the ones that I'm most excited for. And in the last video, I did already read 1 book this year. I'm on book 2. I'm actually on book 2 and 3. One of them I have been reading since last year. I was in a pretty bad reading slump at the end of last year. The book that I read was The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. And these are going to be all the books I read in 2026. This is my series. I haven't finished completely updating. I just need to write in all the rest of the titles of the series that I'm reading. And then next year, I will just put in, if I start any new series that I feel like I'm going to continue, then I'll put those in. But these are just the ones that this year, right now, I'm reading. At the end of last year, I was reading, if that makes any sense. So these are the books that were picked in the previous video, but I might have to change that. I'm going to try to get the same books, but no guarantees. This is how many books I have, but that includes my physical, audio, and ebooks. And this is my anticipated releases of January. Now, that doesn't really mean a lot. That's just the books that I saw that were coming out that I was interested in. Does it mean I'll read them? No, not necessarily. It might they just end up on my want to read list, and that's it. And then if from there, if they end up in the book of the month or the Amazon first reads, then I choose them first over any of the other books that are on those lists. Otherwise, that's pretty much all that is. It's like a guide. All right, so we'll go back to my game and we will play. So I use a 12-sided dice, and I want to get from here to here in as little rolls as possible. And these bookshelf ones, there are 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 of them. Those are ones that mean I pick out of my TBR, my physical, well, all of my books that are standalones, basically, or if they are in a series, it doesn't mean you have to read them in any sort of order, or I probably won't continue if it is in a series, like it's a nonfiction or something like that. The book stacks, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. Those are my continuous series. So that's all of the 7 series that I'm currently in the middle of. I will pick one of those and continue in that series. And the open book, there's only 2 of those. That is to start a series. I'm trying to avoid those. I don't like to start new series. There's a lot of series I do want to start, but I don't like to start too many. And the compasses mean if I land on it, I have to spin to see if I got lost or if I found my way. And if I got lost, I go back to the previous one. If I found my way, I get to stay there. And that is pretty much the rules. The card, any of the open spaces, I draw a card, and the cards are, let me just pick a random one. I haven't finished them, so some of them aren't laminated, but like this one is a crystal. It says read a fantasy. And this is part of the Forest Treasures collection. So if I collect all of the Forest Treasures collection, I get to do some things that I haven't even decided what those things are. I think one of them is going to be buy a book. One of them is going to be start a series that I'm excited for, things like that. So just give them a quick shuffle. I'll probably shuffle them again anyway. Anyway, let's get on to our first roll. I'm going to try to get the books that I already had, but if for some reason I can't, that's fine. I'll just create a new card or use a lot of whiteout. Let's get started. By the way, I named it A Walk in the Woods. I need something to put underneath that. I think. There. Oh, no. Okay. Much better. Ooh, a 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that is just a card. So we'll do a quick little shuffle. And we'll pick this one. Rare Flower. Read a literary fiction. That's funny. That's one that I got last time. So I will be right back and I will grab the same book that I had last time. And that book is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. So that will be our first choice. The next, let's get on to our second roll. Uh-oh. All right, so here we go. Did we lose the compass or did we find it? So here we go. We spin the wheel. Oh, we lost our compass. So we have to go back to the beginning. For roll number 3. And we still have to keep the book, so good thing we only had one book. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A card. Get a little shuffle in. Alright, and I'll pick this one. Autumn. Read a horror. Alright. I don't know if you can see that, but it says read a horror. I will pause and be right back. Alright, so for horror, I chose Hidden Pictures by Jason Merkulak. Alright, so on to roll number 4. Let's hope we don't get a 2. I probably just wished it into existence. Oh, good, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Another card. Let's give them a good shuffle. And we'll stop right here. Seasonal spirits again. Read a book with stars or moon on the cover. All right, let's go see if we can find that. And I found, this is one of the books that I did have for the last time I played. It looks like I have stars on one of the last books that I picked. So we have The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. So that was lucky. Glad for that. All right, so on to our 5th roll. A 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Another card. Let's pick this one. Oh, Shell. Read a book set near water. And that's a Forest Treasures card. Let me pause. All right, for this one I chose Ascension by Nicholas Binge because it is about a mountain that suddenly appears in the Pacific Ocean. So I think that's the closest I'll get. All right, on to roll number 6. Let's hope we don't get a 2. Please not 2. All right. Oh, we get to choose from the jar. All right, so this is the jar with all of the standalone books that I have. So we get to choose at random. So let's pick this one. All right, let's see what book we're going to read. And it is, The Weight of the Stars. That's pretty new to my TBR, physical TBR. So I'll go grab that book. There's The Weight of the Stars. And then we are on to roll number 7. And when we get to the end, I get to choose whatever book I want, which I should have said in the beginning. I do have one book that I have to read this month. And 3. 1, 2, 3. So another card. This one. Lantern. Read a book with light or fire on the cover. So for that one, I chose 4 by Veronica Roth because it has this spark. This is from the Divergent series. I think it's just an off one about, just tells a story about 4. So I'm actually pretty excited to read that one. And then roll number 8. Hopefully this is our last roll. Who knows? Nope. 1, 2, 3. So that's continue a series. So we will choose which series that we are going to continue out of this jar here. Any one of them, I don't care. I'd be happy to continue. Oh, the Nightmareland Chronicles. So that is the series we will continue. On to roll number 9. Hopefully this is our last one. That's a lot of books. 2. Just enough. For the last book, I am choosing To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. Because that is the book I'm currently reading, and that's the one I need to read for the month. And I am enjoying it so far. And that is our monthly TBR. I will have to rewrite my TBR card for the month. That's okay. And I'll have to look up which book this is. So let's do a recap of which books I will be reading, hopefully, in January. So, first we have To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. Then, whatever this next book in this series is, which I will post right here, we have 4 by Veronica Roth. The Weight of the Stars by Kay Ingram. Ascension by Nicholas Binge. The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulek. And Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. Thank you everyone for joining me for today's video. If you like it, please hit that like button and think of subscribing. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.